Most men do not lose in love because they are weak. They lose because they are blind. Blind to manipulation. Blind to emotional traps. Blind to the subtle games that drain their time, ambition, and power. Because in the game of attraction, as taught by Niccolò Machiavelli in The Prince, it is not the lion who dies first, it is the naive man. Let me tell you something most men learn too late. Passion is powerful, but power is decisive. A man who is ruled by passion is a man who can be predicted, and a man who can be predicted can be controlled. In the language of Niccolò Machiavelli, the first weakness of any ruler is not lack of strength, it is lack of discipline. In The Prince, he teaches that a wise leader must master his impulses before he can master his kingdom. Now listen carefully. Attraction is natural. Desire is biological. Chemistry is intoxicating. When a woman captivates your senses, her voice, her beauty, her attention, your mind begins to justify what your instincts have already decided. You stop evaluating. You start excusing. You ignore red flags because the pleasure of the moment feels more urgent than the consequences of the future. This is how men lose leverage. Power over passion does not mean suppressing desire. It means commanding it. It means you feel everything, but you act strategically. Imagine this. You meet a woman who fascinates you. She makes you feel chosen, special, desired. Your heart rate changes when she texts. Your mood shifts based on her tone. Without realizing it, she begins to influence your emotional state. That is the moment the balance of power shifts. Because whoever controls the emotional temperature controls the dynamic. If she can make you anxious, she has leverage. If she can make you jealous, she has leverage. If she can withdraw attention and watch you chase, she has leverage. Passion without awareness turns you into a reactor instead of a leader. And a man who reacts cannot lead his own life. Understand this clearly. Women are not the enemy. Your lack of discipline is. When you allow attraction to override judgment, you surrender authority over your decisions. You start prioritizing her approval over your purpose. You rearrange your schedule to accommodate her unpredictability. You tolerate disrespect because the thought of losing her feels unbearable. That is not love. That is emotional dependence disguised as romance. Power over passion means you observe behavior before investing emotion. You watch consistency. You measure respect. You study patterns. Just as a prince would never form an alliance without assessing loyalty, a wise man does not give access to his time, energy, and commitment without evaluation. The dangerous part of passion is not intensity. It is blindness. You believe you are choosing her, but in reality, your impulses are choosing for you. When you operate from uncontrolled desire, you become easy to manipulate. Compliments will sway you. Withdrawal will destabilize you. Flirtation will disarm you. But when you operate from power, something changes. You enjoy her presence without attaching your identity to it. You appreciate her beauty without placing her above your mission. You remain calm when she tests your boundaries. You are not cold. You are centered. And a centered man is rare. This is what makes him attractive. Not desperation, not obsession, not emotional volatility. Stability is power. Composure is power. Self-control is power. The moment you demonstrate that your life does not revolve around her attention, the dynamic transforms. She senses that you are governed by purpose, not pleasure. She realizes she cannot move you with small manipulations. And here is the deeper truth most men never grasp. When you choose passion over power, you risk more than heartbreak. You risk your focus, your ambition, your progress. Emotional chaos consumes mental energy. Drama distracts from discipline. Obsession drains creativity. History has shown that empires fall not only from invasion, but from indulgence. A man must enjoy love, but never be enslaved by it. He must feel desire, but never kneel before it. He must pursue connection, but never abandon command of his own mind. Power over passion is not about becoming emotionless. It is about ensuring that your emotions answer to you, not the other way round. Listen carefully. Words are cheap. Emotion is theatrical. Promises are currency spent most easily by those who have no intention of paying their debts. If you wish to understand a woman, do not listen to what she says when she is inspired, affectionate, or afraid of losing you. Study what she repeats when she is comfortable. Because patterns reveal character, and character reveals destiny. Niccolò Machiavelli warned rulers never to trust declarations of loyalty without observing consistent action. In The Prince, he explains that men will swear devotion in times of need, yet abandon you when circumstances shift. The wise leader does not judge by vows, he judges by behavior under pressure. The same law governs relationships. A woman may promise she is different. She may swear she values honesty. She may claim she hates drama, respects ambition, desires stability. But what does she repeatedly do? Does she flirt for validation, even after assuring you of exclusivity? Does she escalate small disagreements into emotional warfare? Does she disappear when things become inconvenient only to return with sweet words and soft apologies? A single mistake is human. A repeated mistake is a pattern, and patterns are not accidents. Many men are seduced not by beauty, but by potential. They fall in love with the version of her described in promises rather than the version revealed in actions. They cling to statements like, "I'll change," "I didn't mean it," "That's not who I am." If she consistently avoids accountability, that is who she is. If she consistently seeks attention from others, that is who she is. If she consistently disrespects boundaries and then disguises it as misunderstanding, that is who she is. You must detach from the fantasy created by her words and observe the rhythm of her conduct. Patterns operate quietly. They reveal themselves over time, in small moments. How she reacts to frustration, how she handles boredom, how she treats people who offer her nothing, how she behaves when she believes you will not leave. These moments are truth. A manipulative person can control language. She can rehearse apologies. She can craft narratives that paint her as misunderstood. But controlling consistent behavior over time requires character, and character cannot be faked forever. Men lose power when they argue with reality. When actions contradict words, they choose to believe the words because they are more comforting. But comfort is not clarity. Clarity demands emotional discipline. It demands that you accept what you see instead of what you hope. When you begin evaluating patterns over promises, something shifts inside you. You stop reacting to emotional speeches. You stop being swayed by temporary affection. You start measuring reliability. Does she show up when she says she will? Does she respect your time consistently? Does her loyalty remain stable when attention from others increases? Consistency builds trust. Inconsistency builds anxiety. And anxiety is the weapon that destabilizes men. If her behavior tests confusion more often than peace. That pattern is not random. It is structural. It is embedded. The powerful man understands this. Love is not built on declarations. It is built on demonstrated reliability over time. Anyone can promise. Few can prove. And proof is always found in patterns. Let me ask you something. Who truly controls your life? Is it your goals or your moods? Because a man who cannot govern his emotions will eventually be governed by someone who can provoke them. This is not about suppressing feelings. It is about mastering them. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this deeply. In The Prince, he makes it clear that a ruler must appear composed even when chaos surrounds him. Why? Because instability invites challenge. Emotional volatility signals weakness. And relationships are no different. If a woman can make you angry with a sentence, jealous with a glance, anxious with delayed replies, or euphoric with minimal affection, then she is not just influencing you, she is steering you. Emotional discipline begins with awareness. Notice how quickly your state shifts when she pulls away. Notice how your confidence drops when she becomes distant. Notice how your productivity suffers when conflict enters the picture. These are not coincidences. They are indicators of emotional dependence. A disciplined man does not panic when attention fluctuates. He does not beg for reassurance. He does not lash out to regain control. He remains steady, grounded, observant. Why? Because reacting impulsively hands over power. If she tests you and you explode, she learns how to trigger you. If she withdraws and you chase desperately, she learns how to command your effort. If she criticizes and you crumble, she learns where you are insecure. Every emotional reaction teaches the other person how to manage you. And once someone understands your triggers, I no longer need strength to influence you, only timing. Emotional discipline means pausing before responding. It means refusing to let pride dictate your tone. It means holding your frame even when provoked. It is easy to stay calm when things are pleasant. The true test is composure under tension. When she challenges your boundaries, do you defend them calmly or aggressively? When she attempts to create drama, do you participate or disengage? When uncertainty appears, do you seek clarity with confidence or spiral into overthinking? The disciplined man understands that feelings are temporary, but decisions made in emotional storms have permanent consequences. Most men sabotage themselves not because they lack intelligence, but because they lack regulation. They send messages they later regret. They make ultimatums fueled by anger. And in doing so, they erode their own authority. Emotional discipline does not make you cold. It makes you powerful. It allows you to choose responses instead of being controlled by impulses. It keeps your focus aligned with your mission even when personal dynamics become turbulent. Imagine being unshaken by tests. Imagine being calm when others expect you to react. Imagine maintaining clarity while others operate from emotion. That is strength. A woman may respect confidence, admire ambition, appreciate charisma, but she trusts stability. And stability comes from a man who has conquered himself. Because if you cannot command your own emotional world, you cannot command anything outside of it. Before you think about love, ask yourself this question: what are you building? Because a man without a mission is easily consumed, but a man with a mission must guard it like a kingdom. Your time, your energy, your focus, these are not casual resources. They are strategic assets. And anything that constantly drains them, no matter how beautiful or exciting, becomes a liability. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that a ruler must avoid distractions that weaken his state. Pleasure, flattery, indulgence, these temptations quietly erode authority if left unchecked. A wise leader protects the stability of his rule above temporary satisfaction. Your life operates the same way. When you are pursuing a vision, building wealth, mastering a craft, strengthening your body, expanding your influence, your attention must be disciplined. Focus is power. Scattered attention is weakness. Now consider this carefully. If a woman enters your life and your productivity declines, your routines collapse, your discipline weakens, and your clarity fades, what has truly happened? You have not found love. A relationship should amplify your mission, not replace it. It should support your growth, not compete with it. But many men make a fatal mistake. They place romance at the center of their lives and push purpose to the edges. Slowly, they start adjusting their schedule to avoid conflict. They skip important tasks to maintain emotional harmony. They compromise long-term goals for short-term peace. And they call this sacrifice. But sacrifice without wisdom becomes self-sabotage. When your mission becomes secondary, your identity begins to erode. You become reactive instead of driven. You start measuring your worth by the state of the relationship rather than the progress of your life. This is dangerous because when the relationship struggles, and all relationships face challenges, you are left without foundation. Your confidence shakes, your direction blurs, your ambition weakens. A strong mission anchors you. It gives you stability beyond emotion. It ensures that no matter what happens romantically, your path remains intact. Preserving your mission does not mean neglecting connection. It means establishing hierarchy. Your purpose comes first, not because you are selfish, but because without it, you have nothing solid to offer. When a woman respects your mission, she understands that your time is valuable. She does not demand constant reassurance at the expense of your progress. She does not compete with your goals for attention. She aligns with your direction, instead of redirecting it. But if she consistently pulls you away from growth, if she creates crises during critical moments, if she mocks your ambition, if she pressures you to choose comfort over discipline, then she is not a partner in your rise. She is an obstacle to it. History shows that rulers who abandoned their vision for pleasure lost both power and respect. And men who abandon their mission for emotional dependency lose something far deeper: their sense of self. Now you understand. This was never about attacking women. It was never about fear, bitterness, or avoidance. It was about awareness. A man who studies power understands one fundamental truth: your life is shaped by the alliances you choose, and there is no alliance more influential than the person you allow closest to you. Niccolò Machiavelli taught that a ruler must be vigilant not only of open enemies, but of subtle influences within his own court. In The Prince, he reminds us that poor counsel, weak alliances, and emotional indulgence destroy leadership from the inside. Relationships operate by the same law. If you surrender to passion without power, you lose leverage. If you believe promises without observing patterns, you lose clarity. If you lack emotional discipline, you lose yourself. And once a man loses himself, no relationship can restore him. The purpose of this message is not to make you cynical. It is to make you strategic, not cold, but conscious, not distant, but deliberate. Because the right woman does not compete with your strength. She respects it. She does not distract you from your ambition. She supports it. She does not manipulate your emotions. She values your stability. But you will never recognize her if you are blinded by impulse, weakened by inconsistency, ruled by emotion, or detached from purpose. Power in love is not dominance over another person. It is mastery over yourself. Choose wisely, guard your focus, protect your standards. And remember, a king does not fear companionship. He simply refuses alliances that threaten his throne.